Good evening. I wanted to say good morning so bad. Sometimes we gotta say good morning. I think about Israel and New Breed's song, and he says, "Good morning doesn't necessarily mean that the sun is coming up, but morning means that it's a new day."
Mm,
Yeah, that
that's
part of the song always sticks out to me. So I was about to say good morning, which is absolutely fine for me to say in this beautiful occasion that we're talking about turning your life into turning your pain into power. So I want to say good evening to you. We
good
have
evening.
hey, so we have Miss Marquera Brooks here with us today, and as you know, I always say, I want to give it a few minutes to get some people on the live, and then also to give you an opportunity to share this page on your private page. All right, so we'll give it a few minutes, and then we will get started. Okay.
Let me try to.
All right, there we go. So how's the weather? You live in
Maryland,
Maryland.
Elton, Maryland. Yes, so
How far
it
is that from
is,
Baltimore?
huh?
How far is that from Baltimore?
So it's like an hour. It's probably like an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, not too far. But it's about 70 something. It's about 70. It was like 71 degrees. So tomorrow's supposed to be like 80,
Okay.
around 80, I think. I think. Or this week. Sometime this week it's supposed to get hotter.
Yeah, it did warm up some here in Virginia. Like our weather is so crazy. It'll be nice and beautiful.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then the weather just dropped out of nowhere. So it's been kind of cool these last couple of days. And then we did get some rain over the weekend, but I could feel that the weather was starting to pick back up. And I think
Mhm.
we're in the upper 70s. Um,
Yeah, so hopefully, it stays this way though. I'm
yeah.
ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I am a summer baby to the T. Like I was born in July. So give me all the heat. Now I don't want heat wave heat,
But
but I
you
do
want
want some heat like 80s, 90s. I'm good with it.
just right, just right.
Right. Just right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I've shared this live to my personal. If you have some private groups that you want to share it in, I'm in a divorce support group. I have my own group, so I'd love to share these conversations with the other groups that I'm in because we never know when this conversation is going to help someone else in their healing process when it comes to turning their pain into not just power, but also into their purpose. And
Mhm,
a lot of the things that we do when we go through it, the trauma, domestic violence, the heart breakups, some people like to stay quiet, but then there's people like me, people like you, we can't be quiet because it's a part of our calling, it's a part of our ministry. And some people might say, oh, you just too transparent, you just tell it all. They don't know that us telling it all is actually helping other people in their process of healing. So what I'm going to do is read your bio and then we'll get started, okay?
okay.
All right. So Marquera Brooks, 39 years old. She is the CEO and the founder of Your Wellness Butterfly LLC, and she services as certified health and professional life coach. She's the author of Unlock the Secrets to a Healthier You, Walking in the Sacred. She is also the founder of Finally Unbroken, Spoken Truth, and Finding Her Breakthrough Coaching. Marquera lives in, is it Elkton?
Elton, yes, ma'am.
Elton, Maryland, with her two children, Rajan 20 and how you pronounce your daughter name?
London J.
I didn't want to mess it up. London J, that's cute. 11, and we know she's a cheerleader. I see your videos all the time of her just doing her dance and cheer.
Yes. We got a break right now, so I'm
I'm
enjoying it.
sure you're enjoying it. Yes. And an exceptionally perfect dog named Nova. Before writing her first book and becoming a coach, Marquera got a bachelor's degree in sociology from Grand Canyon University while she worked hard to provide for her family. She later married, however, 8 years later, she divorced. After her divorce, Marquera continued with life and came out stronger than ever. Marquera is a strong woman who believes that every woman has a purposeful life, and the only way to truly tap into that purpose is through a balanced, healthier life, mentally, spiritually, and physically. A powerhouse in her lane, Marquera has a distinctive passion for helping women inclusive of brokenness from past hurt and pain from relationships heal and walk confidently in their purpose. She believes that all women were put on this earth to fulfill purpose, and she is determined to help as many women as she can to push through their pain and birth their purpose. Like I said, turning your pain into purpose and turning your pain and using your pain as power. That's something that we both have in common. And meeting you some years, been years now. Can you believe that?
No.
Through Health Coach Institute, um, it's been a blessing for real because when I met you, we were there for this health coaching retreat, and it wasn't that many of us of this color. So, of course, all gravitated towards each other and really wanted each other to grow, to be able to encourage each other to keep pushing because we knew that coaching was not going to be easy, especially being a health coach. And I think
Mhm.
when we had our conversations, it was like, okay, I know I'm meant to be a coach, but I don't know if I'm meant to be this type of coach because the type of coach that we were doing was like nutrition, health, body, and physical. And when you think about holistic healing, it really does require all three things: the mind, the body, and the spirit. And we actually leave out one, which is the emotions. So I
Mhm.
like to incorporate the emotions as part of holistic healing. And let's start out by letting people know what type of coaching are you doing right now?
So right now, I am not right. I'm not doing any health coaching. So
Okay.
more so on the life coaching part of
Mhm.
it.
Okay.
Um, where, helping women to find their purpose.
Okay. Helping women to find their purpose. Okay. And are you often telling your story in regards to relationship trauma, marriage, divorce, when it comes to the type of clients that you're working with?
I am. Now for the marriage part of that, that is a testimony that I will
Mhm.
share with my clients. I
Okay.
am working beyond that because there's also more parts to me
Right.
that I do want to share with other people and get my testimony out there because women, we need it. You know what I'm saying? For healing period in every area of our lives, I'm learning myself that it's just not the healing through my divorce, but there's other parts of my life where, I had to heal. I had to go through certain things so that I can, get to my purpose. And as I continue to go, I'm still healing through certain things and learning new things about myself and achieving more as I
Yeah.
go along.
Yeah. I like how you said that. Like you say you touch on it, but you don't focus on it too long because it's so much more to you than that. I actually had a conversation with a group of my sisters from my sorority about how I've been telling my story of domestic violence and now about the pain that comes from divorce since 2014.
Hmm.
And I knew that it was time for me to make a pivot as far as me coaching because I was like, I do not want this to be my story for the rest of my life. I don't want for people when they see Dana that equate that to pain and
Hmm.
to divorce and to trauma and to domestic violence. That is a part of my coaching, but it's not who I am. So I love that you said that. Like, yeah, I tell you a little bit, but the most important piece that we want to focus on is that healing component,
Hmm.
is the power component, is the purpose component. Like I tell you my story, but I'm only telling you that piece to get you to the other side of the bridge so you can know that there is something so much bigger and greater to you than your story of pain.
Yes, exactly. And going through that for me was more so walking out of that situation and knowing I had God by my side, but
Mhm.
also not retelling the
Right.
story, not retelling. or constantly talking about, the situation, because then you're just reliving it all the way over. So you're not being releasing the anger or the resentment, or you can't even forgive, so more so I focused on my peace and getting myself better. What can I do to get me better in
Mhm.
that perspective? So and worked on my flaws, so that I can be a better person.
Right.
And that's kind of like how I walk through my process.
Mhm.
It's not easy, but I just say don't stay focused constantly on it. It's like start building a new relationship with God. That's where I was at. Let me build a stronger relationship with the man who's going to help me heal and get me and take me through those steps.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. All right, so we're talking about life after divorce on today. I probably didn't say this, but let me make sure I say this right now. Marquera is one of the contributing authors of the book. I got it right in front of me. Let me see how I
Yeah.
can Life after divorce, turning pain into power anthology book. She reached out to me. She was like, I want to be a part of that book. What made you decide that you wanted to be a part of this book?
One, I knew it was time, I wanted to get my testimony out there, to other women who may have been going through the same situations, or could, touch on some areas that I may have been able to touch, a part of them that can help them through whatever they're going through. I just knew it's really it was a good idea, and it was God ordained for me to do this. It was my time
Yeah.
to share with the world. And, at that time, it's so funny because I was healed, but not completely healed. It was still areas where God was working on me. So,
Right. Which goes into your chapter. Your chapter is titled Growth After Divorce. And we'll get into that chapter a little bit later on. As I read in your bio, married for 8 years. Tell me
mhm.
about the person that you thought you were marrying.
All right. So the person I thought that I thought I was marrying my forever. I thought that we was going to spend the rest of our lives. I kind of seen this. I want to say like almost like a fairy tale.
Right.
Um, Sometimes we make decisions off of, and I'm going to just be very transparent, off of sometimes just the physical part of a person, and we ignore those red flags.
Mm-hmm.
So me looking at the outer court and me just wanting to be, married by a certain age, and just wanting to have like this fairy tale. I'm married, I could say that I'm married. So I thought that I was marrying my forever,
Right.
you know, um, not looking at the red flags or the flaws.
Mm.
Not, and I'm not saying, when it comes to the flaws, because everybody handles um red flags different. Everybody has different red flags that they can, deal with.
Right.
And a lot of times we get into things and we see them and we think that we can change a person, but you got to learn that a person's going to change when they want to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That is absolutely true. What type of red flags do you feel like you were ignoring because of being blinded with love?
Lifestyle, the
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle. Um, and that's for the most part. I want to say the lifestyle, the responsible person. The how can I put that? Um, the
Maturity.
Yeah, the maturity. There you go. The maturity level at the time, just the situation at hand that we were in, like how the whole we met, like how it all fell into place, just that, I ignored those things.
Right.
So once you get into something, you really just realize like, whoa, you know. So
Right. Now tell me, how old were you when you got married?
30.
You were 30. Okay, so
Yeah.
you
Was I 30?
considered to be a mature age to get married at 30
Yeah.
years old. Um, so to you, you were ready for marriage. Do you feel like he was ready for marriage?
I don't think so. I mean, you see, I took a deep breath because it was like, you gotta be real about that. For me, my opinion,
Mhm.
I don't think so. I think along the lines maybe it may have been just because of the situation,
Mhm.
and being transparent. I think that it was just over time growing to
Okay.
love me. And that this is my opinion. Of course, I can't say, you know, whether if that was
True.
what he would say. Yeah. But
Right.
for me, that's what I felt in looking back at things, you
That he
know.
was growing to love you. You felt like he wasn't in love with you at first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you two have children together?
My daughter. Yeah.
Okay. How do you think that played a factor in regards to staying with him? Yeah,
On my end,
long time. I mean,
on
not
my
a
end.
long time, but it's a good amount of time to be
Yeah.
with someone married.
Um, for me, yeah, I think that played a huge factor. Plus, when I thought of marriage, I thought of when I said till death do us part, that's what I wanted it to be.
Right.
So before I decided to make those moves, I wanted to make sure that I tried everything,
Hmm.
and then two, he was definitely, he's definitely a good father to my child. So
Right.
I looked at that, like, do I want to tear it? No, so that did play a part. However, like I said, just marriage for me was the till death do us part. So I want to try everything. I want to make sure I'm doing everything that I need to do, to make our marriage work, and then a lot of praying, a
Right.
lot
I
of
was gonna ask
praying.
you, what does that look like when you say you wanted to make sure you were doing everything you could do? What did that look like? What's trying
Couns-
everything good?
Counseling, conversations, um, you know, checking myself, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Making sure that I'm being who I'm supposed to be.
Mhm.
But again, the counseling, everything a woman's supposed to be, and not saying that I was perfect, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not perfect, and
Right.
we all play our parts. But like I said, making sure for the majority part for me, trying, and a lot of people's like the counseling, making sure you stay, making sure for the kids, but giving chances after chance, and so
Mhm. Okay. Awesome. I definitely get what you're saying because I stayed for a long time, which uh, 12 years for me, and
okay,
praying and giving it to God. And,
yes, that part.
you know, being a Christian, do you feel like that played a big part of you trying to fight for your marriage?
Yes, yes, yep. When you take that vow, that's why I said like once you take that vow, and then I had people in my corner too, had people that did encourage us, that encouraged our marriage, that definitely supported us. Um, and then, you have those feelings, you have those emotions with that person that you've been with for so long. So at that time, I just couldn't imagine myself being without him,
Uh,
and there was times in our marriage where we definitely had breaks, where we would, that whole breaking up thing. And
that was
we did, yeah, but we actually did end up splitting for a good 8 months. We actually walked into a courtroom and was getting ready to divorce, and we decided to reconcile,
okay.
not to go through with it. You know what I mean? So we were definitely at that point, but we decided, we were going to try to make this thing work.
Got you. What was the final straw for you?
Um, so when we got back together at that time, I told him, basically like if we, this is the last time. This is if we still going down this same road, like I'm gonna be done. And I said to myself that I just didn't want to go into a 10-year marriage,
Mm-hmm.
not happy.
Mm.
So I didn't see no change in
Right.
things, you know what I mean? And I didn't think that we were happy. And I just was, I think I was drained. My focus was
Yeah.
too on that where I couldn't really get to my purpose in life and what God called me to be. So
Right.
it
So what
started a lot of praying.
married, I know what your purpose is now. What do you feel like your purpose was when you were married in a relationship? What direction were you going in and at that time?
At that time when I was with him, I was doing MLM a lot and a lot of different MLM companies. I was kind of like in the area trying to find me. Like, what is it that I need to be doing? You know what I mean? What should I be doing? So I was trying a lot of different things. And that's when one of those things was the health coaching. And I got into that because I know growing up, a lot of my girlfriends and stuff, and I gave a lot of advice. I'm always helping people. So, and I was also into getting healthier, wanting to get healthier. So that was kind of like I seen that, and I was like, let me get on in there. So, um, yeah. So at that time, but majority of the time, I did a lot of MLM companies. So that kind of like was my focus. I didn't really see myself as coaching at that, until later on. So yeah, that's where kind of like where I was at, but also still there was a lot of distractions too.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I want to read just a small quote from the book that you wrote. You said, "When I finally got divorced, I finally made the decision to move on. It was stressful. I was emotional at times, and I was even confused. I asked myself plenty of times if I should have stayed. I was really all over the place, even though I made it seem as if I was okay, and though I was still moving on." Tell me about that. Like, what was really going on? Because I know sometimes we as women, we wear this mask, especially when we're going through it in relationships. Like, we in our closets crying, but in public, we got to be
Mm-mm,
strong in
not me.
our
so for
on after this divorce.
so after the divorce, and like I told you, I did a lot of praying and I went to God and I said, pray, and I had a real conversation. It was just like this. Lord, if it's my time, to move on, I know when I make this move, you will give me the peace. You will definitely be with me and things will begin to happen for me if it's the right thing. So I went on and decided to do what I needed to do. Plus in the midst of that was still um in the midst of that split, we were still kind of getting ready to try to work it back out, but there was still some games being played there. So I kind of really just shut that thing down.
Mhm.
And at that moment, through those moments, yes, to everybody, I had that mask on that I was okay. And I did have some peace. However, there was those days where it was just like, wow, and I sat to myself and I cried and I asked God, what could I have done better? And things like that. So I definitely had a lot of emotions behind the closed doors, but I never let my kids see that I was hurting. And a lot of that, what I did to cover up was the working out,
Right.
was the health, the health coaching, keeping myself working out, keeping myself doing things.
Mhm.
Um, and doors began to open. So, that's when my book came out, Unlock the Secrets to a Healthier You. Just a lot of things like doors was just opportunities was happening. I was starting to, figure out what my purpose was. I started seeing things better for myself. So for me, I felt that was God telling me I made the right choice.
Right. Right.
Um, and but that, like I said, behind those closed doors, I did a lot of, was those days where I would cry and
Yeah.
question myself and did I do the right thing? And there was things like, I should have probably worked it out. God, show me, just kind of like second guessing myself and certainly want to kind of say so. But yeah, my emotions was all over the place. But again, I kept myself busy too with that mask on. So everything looked really good.
I don't know what people are going through. So would you say that it was God that got you through that trying time where you even wanted to, I talk about the slip and slide, where you want to slip back to some old ways, some old behaviors, and in this case, an old relationship. What was it that kept you from slipping and sliding?
Okay, so absolutely, it was God that kept me going. And let me tell you, going through that process of like figuring myself out, um, it definitely was God. I'm gonna tell you, there was times being transparent. There was times where I almost slipped.
I'm
you know, but with the grace of God and staying in prayer, because you be tempted of things. And I kind of wanted to just stay on the right path so that I can see um what God was calling me to do. You know what I mean? Because the minute that you fall off or you get distracted, that can cancel out some blessings, some things. You know what I mean? So
Speak on it.
you don't want to be like, like, oh, I can't, I gotta, keep, doing what I need to do or whatever. But those it's not easy. It does take a lot of prayer, time with God, you know. And for me, getting to just knowing me. I
Right.
wanted to, get to know me, get some self-care in, spending more time with my kids. So that's where I feel like a lot of us women, when we split or go through some things, at times we don't give ourselves
Mm.
that time. And then also we're in a vulnerable state, you know what I mean? So we can fall into things, you know what I'm saying, because of that.
Yeah.
But when you keep God a part of it, there are some convictions that he will show up and let you know.
That is so true. In the book, you talk about the different phases of growth. And we're talking about growing after divorce. I'm gonna just say a
Mhm.
couple of them. Tell me which one really is your favorite. All right. So you have growth through awareness, growth through my forgiveness, growth through faith, and then growth
This
through
is
peace. Which one do you really feel like was the one that helped you the most when it comes to growing after divorce? Awareness, peace, forgiveness. And I'm missing one. I just said
um
faith.
I would say, I'm gonna say awareness.
Okay.
And I say this because it helped me to not focus on to stay focused like on him and what
Mm,
he did.
got
I wanted to become aware of my flaws, what I did wrong, what I could have did better. You know
gotcha.
what I mean? So that I can be better.
Right.
Because in order for you to change, you got to be aware of what you need to change. So
Hmm.
I feel like for me, that really was the point for me to help me get to where I needed to be, to get to that purpose. Because I think it starts right there. Even though you got God, you got the peace, but if you can say you got faith, you can say you got the peace, but if you're not aware of what you got going on, how are you going to forgive? How would you have that peace? How would how would you even have the faith
Yeah,
if you're not even aware of what you even did wrong
that's
or
true.
what you could have fixed? You know what I mean? So I feel like it really starts with that awareness so that you begin to change, and then God can come in and really can work on you too.
That's so true. We often point fingers, especially when our relationships do fail. It's so easy to say what he did, what she didn't do. But what about the I, the accepting accountability? And I hear you talk about awareness, being aware of your flaws and understanding that, you know what, I could have did that a little bit different. I could have
Mhm.
been more nicer with my words. I could have showed more respect. That does help you to grow, not just for your own personal development, but it actually helps you to grow to prepare you for the next relationship. So I want you to talk to me
Definitely.
about this program that you were in, How to Be a Wife. Is that what it's called?
Yes, how to be a wife.
Tell us about
Um, Actually tonight it's our open house. So my coach slash spiritual mother, PM, she's the founder of the School of How to Be a Wife. It's for singles and married people. Um, and pretty much it's like an open space, like how we having a conversation here, but more to be able to share your story, share your ups and downs, getting advice. She does, we meet and she talks to us about certain things. She even does challenges. So it's just like a community for you to come in and to share, and you have a sisterhood there too.
Oh,
Um, and we're also going to be incorporating coaches and stuff like that in there where you can come and, get help or healing and whatever you may be going through. So it's really amazing. We also go to different events. So
man.
if
Oh,
anybody, who's ever on at 8 o'clock, we will have open house, you know, and you can join tonight because we will be doing games and all of that good stuff. It's really a good community.
find the group. Like, how do you find it?
So before you can actually find a group, you would have to register time. But to do the open house, there is a link on my page, which my name is Marquera Brooks on Facebook,
Mhm.
and it has a link for you to. Well, it tells you there's the thing that you go to register, and they will send you a link for the open house
Okay.
for that. But if you do want information, you can also inbox me and I can get them the link to be able to register for it as well. If you don't get on the open house and you want to get more information, but it's really, really good for women because you also learn things. She's teaching you how to handle things that may go happening in your marriage or
Right.
you know what I mean? It's not based on about bashing your significant other or anything like that. We even talk about dating all over again. There's some women who are not dating but don't even know how to get back out there and date. So it's really, really, it's really fun. It's sisterhood, open space, transparency, all of that you can think about. Like we talk about everything, like really. So it's really
It's
good.
always room to grow, like you wrote in your book chapter, and to learn. Like
Yes.
being a wife is not as easy as it seems to be for those who've never been married before. Even if you've been dating your person for a while, like there is a whole nother world. I
Right.
get married when everybody gets comfortable with each other and like you're no longer in that courting phase, like the real comes out. And it's not
Hmm.
just the real for that person, but you find yourself doing things that you ain't even know you could do or could do
For real.
out of everybody at this point. And then you add motherhood to the mix. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Group, how to be a wife is very much needed. Like you said, it's not just for singles, but it's for those who are already wives.
Hmm.
Because they might have a book called How to Be a Wife for Dummies, because they got one of those for everything.
Hmm.
But to just modernize it, we do get some resources from the Bible of how to be a
Hmm.
virtuous woman, but
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure to be able to break it down, of what being a wife really does look at: the good, the bad, the pros, the cons, and you fought for your marriage, you prayed hard for your marriage. And I'm sure that you're learning new things in this group that's going to be beneficial to your next relationship. So
Hmm.
how can we find you? Oh, you wanted to ask something else?
Oh yeah, because what I was gonna say was, and you kind of look at stuff in a different light. There's people who may are at the brink of a divorce,
Yeah.
but they'll get you through it to work it out and make things better. So it's just amazing. I really love it. So
Right.
I want all the women. If you're looking for a community, listen, how to be a wife.
Yes. And it takes two for the
Yeah.
marriage to work. Like we both mentioned how we prayed for our spouses and gave it to God. And I don't want you all to think that God didn't answer our prayers or anything, but it does take two people. God gives us the ability to choose. And so
Hmm.
if that person, your significant other, is not choosing for your marriage to work, to be healed, to be delivered of whatever demons they may be fighting, then God does allow for separation to take place because it takes more than just one person's prayer. It's going to take for both people. Like we talk about 50-50. No, we need more than 50-50. We need 100%
Mhm. Mhm.
for marriages to work. So if you're married and you want to join this group, I think it would be even better because you're both learning together of how not just be a wife, but man, how to be a husband. Because it takes two for a marriage to work. So, Marquera, how can they find you on social media?
All right. So on Facebook, you find me under Marquera Brooks, which is MarqueraBrooks. I'm also on Instagram. Give me 1 second, because I want to make sure. Okay, yeah. More underscore butterfly, but it's also I got Marquera Brooks as well.
Mhm.
And then I also have TikTok, and that's just Marquera Pitts.
All
So
right.
these are my three platforms right now.
But thank you so much for joining. It's always good to see you and to talk with you. We'll catch up soon, sis.
Yes, thanks for having me. I appreciate ya. It was good. This was really good. I liked this.
Thank you so much. And so hopefully for those who do catch the replay, catch Marquera in her element. She be posting some funny TikTok videos.
That's a new lane I'm in. That's a new lane now. God will use me. Won't he do it?
Really good. 'Cause initially you was doing the videos, the exercise, and just encouraging people to work out, getting that body
Yes.
match.
I'm trying to get back into it because I done picked up a little, so I gotta get there. I gotta get back in there.
Peace ain't come from nowhere. So I was like, I just told myself I haven't done a total transformation coaching package in a while. Guess what?
Listen,
Because I need to put myself in my own total transformation.
that part. Every day I come home, I'm like, you know what? I ain't drinking no more coffee. Fuck,
Right.
I ain't eating that again.
We're
Listen.
gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. So
Mhm.
again, we'll be talking soon, and I will see you around the way in social media world.
All right, sis. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.